play the Cincinnati Bengals 1 p.m. at Paycor Stadium. The big question is, will Joe Burrow be playing for the Bengals? We'll have to see. Tickets can be purchased, by the way, at the field for tonight's Battle of the Badges flag football game between the Middleborough Police and Firefighters at Battis Field at 6 p.m. Tickets $5 per person, $15 for a family of 4. Cash or Venmo will be accepted. Now the forecast from the National Weather Service as we head into the weekend. Partly sunny today, highs in the upper 40s, and calm winds will pick up a bit in the afternoon from the south. Tonight, a slight chance of rain, otherwise cloudy, lows in the upper 30s. Saturday, a slight chance of rain in the morning, otherwise partly sunny, a high near 48. Clear and cold Saturday night, lows in the upper 20s, and Sunday mostly sunny with a high near 44. Headlines presented by Morton Hospital in Taunton. They're part of Brown University Health.
The future is bright at Morton Hospital, now proudly part of Brown University Health. This change welcomes a new chapter for our community, one where Morton is empowered to truly shine. As a part of Brown University Health, Morton can continue to provide the trusted care you depend on, supported by leading science that lights the way. Still local, now limitless. Morton Hospital is now part of Brown University Health.
Okay. 140 enter. Here we go.
WVBF is your hometown radio station. And one of the things we like to do to support people in your hometown is to run community announcements. If you do belong to a nonprofit group or organization, or if you're an official with a city or town government, send your community announcements along to our email address. It's safe, it's fast, and allows us to get right back to you if we have a question. Send your community announcements to WVBF1530@hotmail.com. That's WVBF1530@hotmail.com. Thank you for listening. Your hometown radio station is AM 1530, WVBF, and 99.7 FM.
All right. 305.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host and do not express the views of WVBF ownership or Hometown Talk Radio. Content aired on all programs are those of the host and their guests.
10.
It's time for Hometown Talk on AM 1530 and 99.7 FM, your hometown radio station. Our phone lines are now open at 508-822-1106.
What the heck? There we go. And good morning, and welcome to Hometown Talk. It's the Friday edition of Hometown Talk. I am Joey Driscoll. Today is Friday, the 21st of November, 2025. We got a great show planned for you today, as always. We have a lot of different things to get to today, a lot of different topics to get to today, and we have open phone lines, 508-822-1106. There we go. 508-822-1106. So start off with the weather, as everyone's been, I'm sure, noticing. It's been getting a lot colder over the past couple of days. It is 39 degrees and a little bit cloudy outside in Taunton. 39 degrees right now, 50 for the high today. So it'll warm up a little bit. It'll be a little windy though, so the temperature will feel a little cooler than it actually is due to that wind. But 50 degrees, so it doesn't seem that it's going to be that bad weather-wise today. No rain in the forecast. It will be cloudy throughout the day. A low of 27 this evening. So it's still pretty cold. We're getting into the cold temperatures at night kind of deal. That's kind of what we're going to be seeing for the time being. As tomorrow, Saturday, 65% chance of rain, high of 49 with a low of 31. And I did see that's looks like the weather has changed for next week a little bit. That at least a couple of days ago, we were looking at potential snow next week, but now it doesn't look like that is going to happen, which is a good thing. We'll rain a couple of days next week, Tuesday and Wednesday, but the temperatures looks like it's going to stay, relatively warm enough to where snow isn't going to happen. But again, it could change again. This is New England weather in the winter is very, very interesting to say the least. So that's something to keep a very close eye on. But it's going to be relatively good today with a little bit of clouds. So again, not a bad day today. We have a much warmer day in the middle of next week coming up. So warm weather is, is still here. It's not, 70 or 80 degrees by any stretch of the imagination, but, mid-50s, that's pretty nice for late November, especially if there's no wind, which, unfortunately today there will be, which, again, makes it a little bit cooler. But again, there's your look at your weather. Again, we have open phone lines today, 508-822-1106 is the number to call if you want to call in and talk about whatever is on your mind today. But we have a lot to get to today. We got some sports to get to, of course. We have transportation to get to as well. And local events, local stories to get to on the show today. First thing first, I want to talk about some blood drives. Blood drives coming up for the month of November. We have 2 more to go here in the month of November. We'll be talking about December blood drives pretty soon, probably within the next couple of days, but we have a couple more left in November to talk about. We have Monday, November the 24th, Lakeville Public Library, 4 Precinct Street. This is in Lakeville, 12:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. for that blood drive. Then we have Sunday, November the 30th, Church of Our Savior, 60 Union Street in Middleborough, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. for that blood drive. Again, whenever I get a chance to talk about blood drives, it's very, very important. I always like to try to get this information out to everyone because, again, blood drives, extremely, extremely important. What the Red Cross does is extremely important, and they are in need of blood. If anyone out there is able to give blood, you can go to these two blood drives coming up this next week, or as well the blood donation centers in the area as well. We have a couple of blood donation centers in the area where you can go and give blood anytime. So there you go. There's your little update on the blood drives. We're going to take our first commercial break, and when we come back, we got a couple of different things to talk about. Something I talked about on the Sunday show, and I want to talk about this again. Something that happened in Lakeville with vehicle break-ins. I'm going to briefly talk about that when we come back as well. And we also have talk a little bit later on about the Thanksgiving things going on. We'll talk about the Sacred Heart Food Pantry. And we'll talk about much more there as well. Christmas related things going on at the pantry as well. The Giving Tree program that will be going on. The signups are still on, I believe, for that. So we'll be talking about that. We'll also have a scam awareness segment on the show today as well. But your phone calls, 508-822-1106 is the number. When we come back, we're going to talk about vehicle break-ins in our area in Lakeville and how to keep yourself safe from that. We'll be right back. $189.
Taunton Federal Credit Union's newest full-service location at 403 Winthrop Street in Taunton is now open. This is TFCU's fourth location, which includes its main office at 14 Church Green in Taunton and branches in Middleborough and New Bedford. Taunton Federal Credit Union's been serving the city of Taunton and surrounding communities since 1947 and is committed to offering an extensive range of products and services designed specifically with you in mind. Membership in the Taunton Federal Credit Union is now available to anyone who lives, works, worships, or attends school in Bristol County, Plymouth County, and Barnstable County in Massachusetts, Bristol, Kent, Newport, and Providence counties in Rhode Island, and the Rhode Island communities of Charlestown, Exeter, Hopkinton, Narragansett, New Shoreham, North Kingstown, Richmond, and South Kingstown. They want to make your banking experience as easy as possible by giving you convenient access to manage your accounts on the go, all the while providing you with the latest and greatest in banking technology. Stop in today and see what the Taunton Federal Credit Union can offer you.
Everyone's Alliance
Every referee, umpire, and judge in high school sports. We want to say, we see you.
We see everything you do for us that goes unnoticed.
We see the positive role models that you are.
We see the way you get unfairly criticized just for doing your job.
The truth is, we couldn't play without you.
So thank you for investing your time in us.
Thank you for protecting the integrity of the game, no matter what.
We hope you always know how much we appreciate you.
Because without you, this is just recess. It's not really a game.
Thank you for always making it possible for us to play the sport we love.
Want to serve the students in your community? Sign up to become an official in Massachusetts at highschoolofficials.com.
We are Lions International, the world's largest service organization. We are volunteers committed to strengthening our communities and supporting those in need, one act of kindness at a time. For more than a century, Lions have been serving the world in need, right here in our community and around the world. Lions International makes the impossible possible. This is your invitation to join us, because the only thing missing from our mission to make a difference is you. Visit lionsclubs.org to find a local Lions Club near you.
Okay. 9:20. And we are back. 9:21 a.m. here on Hometown Talk, the Friday edition of Hometown Talk. We have open phone lines today. 508-822-1106 is the number to call if you want to call in, talk about whatever is on your mind this morning, whether it be a sports-related thing. You know, the Patriots are on top of the AFC East. The Bills lost last night to the Texans, which widens the AFC East lead for the Patriots. Those two teams, they'll face each other at Gillette Stadium on December the 14th. That is going to be a massive game now for the Bills. On the Bills side, that's going to be a massive game. The Patriots are kind of, the pressure has been taken off on the Patriots a little bit. By no means should they take their foot off the gas. They've been playing very, very well. They should not underestimate the Bengals this week, this upcoming Sunday. Regardless if Joe Burrow plays or not, Joe Burrow, he's been a full participant in practice, so there's a chance he could play. But we're going to talk a little bit about that later on. If you want to call in, talk about your thoughts on the Patriots, 508-822-1106, or if it's something transportation related. Of course, the MBTA Communities Act, that's getting ready to heat up once again as there's a deadline at the end of the year as well. And there's some local towns that are kind of having discussions about it still as well. You can talk about that. Or talk about any other thing going on, any local event going on in our area. Again, the number is 508-822-1106 is the number to call. Okay. I mentioned that we were going to talk about this here before our commercial break. Lakeville police have warned of an increase in recent vehicle break-ins. It's been this article came out a couple of weeks ago, so this has been happening for a couple of weeks. The Lakeville Police Department is investigating an increase in motor vehicle break-ins in the area. The department has shared a press release that there has been a recent rise in vehicle break-ins in Lakeville and in neighboring communities. Suspects are primarily targeting unlocked vehicles in driveways, which is a very scary thought there. The department said most of these crimes happen overnight and involve suspects checking for easy targets. This includes unlocked vehicles that have valuables in plain sight. Police recommend residents to remove any valuables from their vehicles and to lock their vehicle doors. I also would recommend locking your actual doors as well, your front doors at night as well. Grandfather always used to do that before he went to bed every night. Locked the front door, locked the garage door, made sure the garage doors were locked, and made sure the garage doors were closed as well. He always did that every night. And I think that's important too, to keep your front doors locked as well in any situation like that too. But yes, the vehicle, going back to the vehicles, yes, definitely. That advice is very, very important. Definitely lock your vehicles. Any valuables that you can carry inside, just bring them inside. Or if you can't carry anything that's in there that's valuable, I'd hide it as well. So that's, again, this article, very, very important information there. But again, just wanted to talk about this again. Me and Dawn and I, there we go. Dawn and I talked about it on Sunday. And, again, I just mentioned the fact that that's the cars are very important, but also your houses as well. Very, very important. Lock those as well. Again, my grandfather always did that. Always did that every single night. Made sure everything was locked before we all went to bed. Yeah. Finish this up. Report any suspicious activity to the Lakeville Police Department at 508-947-4422 or call 911. Anyone with information or video footage is asked to contact Detective Schaefer. His number is 508-9. Their number there, 508-947-4422, extension 167. So there you go. Another thing here that I wanted to mention, not sure if this was mentioned on Wednesday or on Thursday's show. Don't remember if it was or not, but I will mention it here. Voters have denied the Old Colony High School's $288 million building project. This is also an article out of Lakeville. The majority of voters across the 5-member towns of the Old Colony Regional Vocational Technical School District did not approve the school's $288 million building project on Tuesday. The decision came from a simple majority across voters from Lakeville, Acushnet, Carver, Mattapoisett, and Rochester, those 5 towns who send students to Old Colony. In Lakeville, voters did not approve, which nulled the second ballot question of whether to fund the project with a temporary increase in taxes. The project received a final vote of 3,112 against the project to 1,923 for it across the 5 towns on Tuesday, November the 18th. So that's a pretty sound defeat for that article there. That's a pretty sound defeat. According to the Lakeville Town Clerk's office, 424 voters approved the project and 478 did not approve the building project. So that's a pretty close margin there. This, again, if passed, would construct a new school building for Old Colony. The proposed project would have increased the student population from 560 to 776 students and modernized classrooms and overall infrastructure of the 50-year-old building. In Acushnet, 472 voters approved this project. 1,459 voted against it. Carver voters landed with 246 approve to 284 disapprove. Mattapoisett, 278 voters approved and 202 did not. So in Mattapoisett, it looks like Mattapoisett was the only town to vote for it because Rochester voted 503 for and 689 against. Mattapoisett, again, as I just mentioned, the only member town to approve the project. Old Colony Superintendent Aaron Polanski said, even though the new building project was rejected, there are still costly improvements to be done at the school. The cost to repair the current building is going to be significant. The school district estimates it would cost about $134 million to make all necessary repairs and renovations. In addition, that cost is estimated without any state grant funding to soften the price to member towns. Whereas the new building would have seen a state reimbursement of $129 million. Repairs would also not increase the student population, but bring needed improvements to safety, accessibility, and energy efficiency standards. The article goes on a little bit here, but what is your thought on that? Any people listening from those towns want to call in? 508-822-1106. 508-822-1106 is number. Anyone want to call in and give your thoughts about that? Again, that's the number to do so. We are going to take our news break, and we'll be right back here on WVBF 1530 AM and 99.7 FM. We'll be right back.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. He says he wants to talk about affordability. New York City's mayor-elect Zoran Mamdani meets with President Trump today at the White House. We are starting to get details of the latest U.S. brokered Ukraine peace plan. It includes land concessions that the Ukrainians have so far rejected.
Ukraine's military would be reduced by nearly a third, from roughly 880,000 troops to 600,000. The proposal would also prevent the future expansion of NATO and opens the door to lifting sanctions on Russia. The $100 billion in frozen Russian assets would be dedicated to rebuilding Ukraine. The side agreement aims to satisfy Ukrainian security concerns, declaring a future significant, deliberate, and sustained armed attack by Russia would be viewed as threatening the peace and security of the transatlantic community. Ben Thomas, Washington.
The FAA says only 776 of the nearly 20,000 air traffic controllers and technicians who worked without pay during the shutdown will get bonuses. Only those with perfect attendance.
A number of workers called out of work as the shutdown dragged on longer than a month. Some of them got side jobs. Others weren't able to pay for childcare because they weren't getting a check. Their absences forced delays at airports across the country. And
Good morning, everybody.
President Donald Trump suggested the bonuses for those who stayed on the job during the shutdown, and even suggested that air traffic controllers who missed work should be docked in pay. FAA officials have not publicly said anything about penalizing controllers. Donna Warner, Washington.
St. Louis County Police say a knife-wielding man has been shot dead by an officer at St. Louis Lambert International Airport. On Wall Street this morning, the Dow futures up 267 points. NASDAQ futures ahead 140. More on these stories at townhall.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-2341. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at tra.com or call 800-575-2341. That's 800-575-2341. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
Under arrest in Thailand, an accused Russian hacker could face extradition to the United States.
The suspected Russian hacker taken into custody on the Thai resort island of Phuket is wanted by the FBI on allegations he was behind cyber attacks on US and European government agencies, officials say. The suspect's name has not been released, but a Russian state-run news agency has identified him as Denis Obreschko, a native of Stavropol, adding his relatives confirmed the November 6 arrest and will fight his extradition to the US. Thailand's Cybercrime Investigation Bureau said in a November 12 statement that it was an FBI tip that a world-class hacker was traveling to Thailand that led to his arrest in Phuket. In the raid, police seized laptop computers, mobile phones, and digital wallets, adding that FBI officials were on hand for the arrest. I'm Charles.
News and analysis at townhall.com.
110.
Longtime NFL coach Dave Toub answers President Trump's criticism of the league's new kickoff rule.
Trump attended a game earlier this month and criticized the rules on the Pat McAfee show, calling them demeaning and unsafe. Toub, who has coached special teams for over 2 decades, pointedly dismissed Trump's comments on Thursday.
He has no idea what's going on with the kickoff rule. So, I think that's for what it's worth. I hope he hears it.
The rules, made permanent this year, require the ball to be kicked from the 35-yard line, with players waiting at the 40 until the ball
really
is
need
touched
to
and
address
by
that.
Kevin Coolbaugh.
Law enforcement leaders in Charlotte, North Carolina say
Just
a federal immigration
move on.
crackdown centered around the city appears to
Is it
be
really that
tapering off.
important?
However,
Just
a
move
Homeland
on.
security official insists the operation will continue, saying that the operation is not over and will not be ending anytime in the near future.
Okay.
More on these stories, townhall.com.
Hey, restaurant.
When it comes to great food and in-house operations, you got it down to a science. But when it comes to online marketing, ordering, and delivery, Devour Now has got you covered. Devour Now has 0% commission, no setup costs, and the delivery solution you've been hoping for. Go to getdevournow.com to request a demo and to get started today. That's getdevournow.com. That's commission-free online marketing, ordering, and delivery.
Okay. 9:37. All right, we're back here on Hometown Talk. It is 9:37 a.m. Open phone lines today, 508-822-1106. We're here till 11 a.m. this morning. Thing I want to mention here is the Battle of the Badges flag football game. That'll take place tonight at Battis Field in Middleborough, 6 p.m. It's the Middleborough Police Department versus the Middleborough Fire Department. Concessions will be available. Tickets are $5 per person, $15 for a family of 4. Tickets can be purchased at the door tonight and also on Venmo. All proceeds will benefit the Middleborough Police and Fire Department unions, as well as MMC football and the cheerleaders. So there you go. If you are in Middleborough and want to go see a football game tonight, it's the Middleborough Fire Department and Middleborough Police. Middleborough Fire Department and Middleborough Police Department tonight, 6 p.m. start at Battis Field. So we have that going on as well. We'll have a ton of different things to talk about here with events going on, especially this weekend. There's a ton of things going on. There's a craft fair going on. There's a Church Green Coffee House event going on as well, and much, much more going on this weekend and next weekend. The next couple of weekends, there's going to be a ton of things going on here in and around Taunton and in Middleborough as well. We're going to talk about Thanksgiving in a little bit as well. There's a lot of things going on in this area for Thanksgiving. Probably talk about that in the second hour. I'll talk about what I'm going to be doing on Thanksgiving. 508-822-1106. What will you be doing on Thanksgiving? Will you be going to the Taunton football game on Wednesday night? I mean, that's the night before Thanksgiving, but will you be doing that? Will you be just staying home and eating turkey or whatever you like to eat on Thanksgiving? Or will you be doing anything else on Thanksgiving? What are your plans for Thanksgiving? 508-822-1106 is number. Call in, talk about that as well. All right, a couple of events here that I want to talk about here before moving on to another topic I want to talk about, and that is in the energy saving area for Middleborough. I want to talk about that in just a few minutes here, but we have a couple of events I want to get to here first. The town of Middleborough is selling custom 500-piece jigsaw puzzles, showcasing the community just in time for the holidays. The puzzle project was spearheaded by the Planning and Community Development Department. They cost $25 each. Proceeds from the sales that will directly benefit events and programs planned by the Office of Economic and Community Development. Custom 500-piece jigsaw puzzles depicting the town of Middleborough, they're on sale now at the Planning and Community Development Office. That's at the Town Hall Annex, 20 Center Street. Call 508-946-2425 for more information. Let's do that number again. 508-946-2425, and call that number for more information. So if you're in Middleborough, pick up a puzzle project. 500 piece. There we go. 500 piece jigsaw puzzle for you and your family. It's a great way to spend a snow day as well. Something I didn't mention on Monday. I talked about this on Monday too. Puzzles and word cross puzzles and other things like that are a great way to spend a snow day if you're snowed in, or or if the younger people are off of school because of the snow. Puzzles, word cross puzzles, anything like that. Very good way to pass the time during a snow day. Okay, we have the free yard waste drop-off in Taunton. We have a couple of more days with that. Friday, November 21st, that's today. So from today until 1 p.m., it's going on right now. Started at 7 a.m. this morning. It will go on till 1 p.m. this afternoon. And then tomorrow, Saturday, November 22nd, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. tomorrow. And this is at the City Convenience Center, 330 East Britannia Street. Proof of residency required, no commercial waste, and no box trucks. Questions, you can call the Taunton Department of Public Works, 508-821-1431. That's 508-821-1431. There you go. You have that going on this weekend in Taunton as well. And finally here, the group of events we got going on. Then we're going to take our last commercial break of the hour, and then we're going to be moving on to an energy saving topic I want to talk about for the town of Middleborough. And we'll have your phone calls as well if you want to call in, 508-822-1106. This number will have open phone lines throughout the show today. Next week, quick update about what's going on the next couple of weeks on the show. Next week, we'll have Paul Lazarowicz calling in. We'll be talking about all things, of course, Thanksgiving, and maybe talking a little bit about Christmas as well. Next Friday is Black Friday, which is a big shopping day. Sure, we'll probably talk a little bit about that too. But stay tuned for that. Next Friday, Paul Lazarowicz will be calling in 10:35 a.m. Next Friday. Then in the second hour of the December 5th program, the following Friday, second hour, Eric will be joining me for our regularly scheduled Friday show. In the second hour of the first Friday of every month, me and Eric sit down and talk about all things sports. And boy, we're going to have a lot to talk about when we get to December 5th, because the path for the Patriots has gotten a little bit easier. Now, I'm not declaring victory with the Patriots when it comes to the AFC East and things like that, and a strong playoff position. Not declaring victory yet. We got to see how the next couple of games go. We got to see how that Buffalo Bills game goes on December the 14th. That'll be a big game. We already have the upper hand on the Bills a little bit with that win, with that first win in Buffalo. Can we get that second win at Gillette on December the 14th? We'll have to wait and see on that. I know that we got the coming up on the Bengals on Sunday. We have the Giants after that. Then we have the bye week, and then of course the Bills following that as well. And then you got a couple of other games as well. You got the Dolphins in there again, which that's going to be a relatively easy game, I would say. The Dolphins have done a little bit better over the past couple of weeks, but we'll talk about that a little bit more later on. But we'll be talking all about that with Eric on December the 5th, as we are now back with our regularly scheduled first Friday of every month going forward with me and Eric, the second hour of the December the 5th program, the 10 o'clock hour. Eric will be joining me once again. And there will also be some other guests in December as well, which I'll announce at some point. We're working on that, so stay tuned for that. But I just wanted to give a quick update about what's going on over the next couple of weeks on this program here, the Friday edition of Hometown Talk. All right, now before we get to our last commercial break and then our energy saving topic here to end the opening hour, the city of Taunton, they're going to be making, and they have been making, important safety improvements traffic-wise at intersections in the Taunton area here and in Taunton. They did one a couple of weeks ago. They're going to be doing another one in a couple of weeks, and that is the intersection of Highland and Florence Streets. The intersection will be converted into a four-way, all-way stop on Monday, December the 15th, in order to improve safety for drivers, pedestrians, and cyclists. A change like this takes some adjustment. To ensure a smooth transition, the city will be providing advance notice so that motorists are well prepared. That's coming up on Monday, December the 15th. So I got a couple of weeks there with that. And they have made other improvements to other intersections as well to make them safer. I think that's a great move, especially when it comes to four-way intersections like that. It's good to have, especially if they're busy. It's good to have that four-way stop because it kind of makes things quite safer in that area for sure. All right, let's take our last commercial break right now. When we come back, we'll have another Middleborough related topic to talk about. In the second hour, we'll have a ton of different things to talk about. We'll have sports, we'll have transportation, we'll have some more local stories to talk about as well, and of course your phone calls. We will be right back. All right, Matthew Mission 242.
Matthew Mission Food Pantry helps people with food insecurities from the hardships of life. In a few short years, they have given more than 4,000 bags of groceries.
136 InfoTrack.
For guests with limited transportation options, they are open every Saturday morning from 9:30 to 11:30 at the north door of the First Parish Church, 76 Church Green, and are available to anyone, no questions asked. The demand increases every week. With the looming reduction in SNAP benefits, the need is growing. Please consider a donation of unexpired, non-perishable food items, grocery store gift cards, or a monetary donation via check to the Matthew Mission Food Pantry, 76 Church Green, Taunton, or by Venmo at Matthew Mission Food Pantry. The Matthew Mission Inc. is a registered 501c3 organization. Thank you.
Don't miss InfoTrack weekends here on WVBF. InfoTrack is a weekly nationally syndicated public affairs radio show that features interviews with experts discussing topics of real interest to you. InfoTrack strives to present impartial, balanced coverage of every story. I'm your host, Chris Whitting, along with a team of talented reporters and legendary announcer, Charlie Van Dyke. InfoTrack Saturday mornings at 8:05 a.m. and Sundays at 9 a.m. here on WVBF AM 1530 and 99.7 FM, your hometown radio station.
Okay. Let's do 140.
WVBF is your hometown radio station.
And one of the things we like to do to support people in your hometown
195
is
to
to run
425,
community
and
announcements.
then 195.
If you do belong to a nonprofit group or organization, or if you're an official with a city or town government, send your community announcements along to our email address. It's safe, it's fast, and allows us to get right back to you if we have a question. Send your community announcements to WBBF1530@hotmail.com. That's WBBF1530@hotmail.com. Thank you for listening. Your hometown radio station is AM 1530, WBBF, and 99.7 FM. Hi, this is Paul Lazarovich, host of Saturday Morning's Cranberry Country Channel. Inviting you to join me live 10 a.m. on WBBF 1530 AM and 99.7 FM via the internet or our Facebook live stream. Since 1993, Cranberry Country Journal has been providing a
Second hour
slice of the people, places, events, and
Bit of our
activities that make the Cranberry Country area a special place to call home. Catch Cranberry Country Journal Saturday mornings 10 to 11 a.m. on WBBF 1530 AM and 99.7 FM.
Hello, everyone in Stand Up Strong fans. We have moved to 12 to 1 on Sundays. You can listen to Stand Up Strong every Sunday. It will make a perfect Sunday afternoon.
Don't miss Stand Up Strong, all about the Brockton area and beyond, 12 noon to 1 on Sundays, only here at WVBF, your hometown radio station.
1530 WVBF.
Great, okay. Now, and we're back as I hit the microphone with my finger. There we go. Anyway, and I turned the bumper music down. All right. So 9:54 a.m. here on Hometown Talk Friday on WBBF 1530 a.m. 99.7 FM here on the Friday before Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is on Thursday. Of course, Taunton will have their Thanksgiving football game on Wednesday night. They'll be taking on Milford. So that will be an interesting game. It always is every single year for Taunton. Middleborough has their game against Carver on Thursday morning. They play on Thanksgiving morning against Carver. It's a rivalry game between the two. Over the past 7 or 8 years at this point, it really has been one-sided. But I'm hoping that this year will be a little bit more entertaining and a good game between the two. Regardless, it's going to be, I'm sure, a fun morning of high school football there as well. Both locations are always fun locations to go to every year. Every time they have the football game at each location, it's always a fun experience. I've been to several of the Middleborough Carver football games, and it's always a fun atmosphere, regardless of what the score ends up being every year. But we're going to talk about Thanksgiving, of course. We're going to I think on Sunday. I think we're going to do this on Sunday, either Sunday or Monday. We're going to break down some of the high school football Thanksgiving games that are going on in the area. And even further, we'll go over some of the big ones as well. So we'll be talking about that. Probably, I think it's either going to be Sunday or Monday's program. So stay tuned for that as well. So, all right. We have energy saving tax credits. This is from Middleborough. They're going to be expiring in December, and here's how to use them. Until the end of 2025, homeowners and businesses can obtain 30% federal tax credit for a wide range of energy saving and clean energy measures. This is according to local nonprofit Sustainable Middleborough. Those measures can include heat pumps, insulation and air sealing, water heaters, electric vehicle chargers, rooftop solar battery storage, and more. Unlike a deduction, a tax credit is a dollar-for-dollar reduction in your taxes. Those credits will end at the end of the year, December 31st. If you've been thinking of making any of these energy improvements, this tax credit is a fantastic incentive to jump on it before it's gone, writes Hayden Kane, Weatherization Navigator for Sustainable Middleborough. You can combine it with local rebates and low-interest financing programs. Kane is available for free consults to guide local residents and business owners through the process of weatherizing their homes and buildings in order to save money and energy at 774-419-5250. Again, that's 774-419-5250. I believe Ron Lancaster has had on Hayden Kane a couple of times on his program as well in the past, talking about Sustainable Middleborough and the things that they do as well. I believe Ron Lancaster's had him on a few times. Or you can email navigator@sustainablemiddleborough.org to be eligible for rebates. The first step is signing up for a free energy assessment at 888-772-4242 or ene.org/sustainability/HEA. So there you go. Anyone in Middleborough? There you go. That's a pretty interesting thing there. All right, 9:59 a.m. We're closing in on the end of the opening hour. Again, open phone lines today, 508-822-1106, 508-822-1106 if you want to call in, talk about whatever is on your mind this morning. We are going to take our top of the hour break. When we come back, we'll have sports, we'll have transportation, we'll have other things as well. We'll have a scam awareness segment to talk about as well. And if we have time as well, we'll get a little bit of an update on a story I talked about a couple of weeks ago regarding deer strikes. I talked about the top 10, I think it was top 20 towns in Massachusetts and I believe just the South Coast that were for deer strikes in 2025 and 2024. We'll talk a little bit of update on that as well. And your phone calls, 508-822-1106. We will be back after the news.
We are AM 1530, WVBF, Middleborough, Taunton, and W259DD, Middleborough Center, 99.7 FM, your hometown radio station.
1 hour down. That was kind of quick.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. He says he wants to talk about affordability. New York City's mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani meets with President Trump today at the White House. We are starting to get details of the latest U.S. brokered Ukraine peace plan. It includes land concessions that the Ukrainians have so far rejected.
Ukraine's military would be reduced by nearly a third, from roughly 880,000 troops to 600,000. The proposal would also prevent the future expansion of NATO and opens the door to lifting sanctions on Russia. The $100 billion in frozen Russian assets would be dedicated to rebuilding Ukraine. The side agreement aims to satisfy Ukrainian security concerns, declaring a future significant, deliberate, and sustained armed attack by Russia would be viewed as threatening the peace and security of the transatlantic community. Ben Thomas, Washington.
The FAA says only 776 of the nearly 1,000 air traffic controllers and technicians who worked without pay during the shutdown will get bonuses. Only those with perfect attendance.
A number of workers called out of work as the shutdown dragged on longer than a month. Some of them got side jobs. Others weren't able to pay for childcare because they weren't getting a check. Their absences forced delays at airports across the country, and some flights were cut. President Donald Trump suggested the bonuses for those who stayed on the job during the shutdown, and even suggested that air traffic controllers who missed work should be docked in pay. FAA officials have not publicly said anything about penalizing controllers. Donna Warder, Washington.
St. Louis County Police say a knife-wielding man has been shot dead by an officer at St. Louis Lambert International Airport. On Wall Street this morning, the Dow futures up 267 points. NASDAQ futures ahead 140. More on these stories at townhall.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-2341. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at tra.com or call 800-575-2341. That's 800-575-2341. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
Under arrest in Thailand, an accused Russian hacker could face extradition to the United States.
The suspected Russian hacker taken into custody on the Thai resort island of Phuket is wanted by the FBI on allegations he was behind cyber attacks on US and European government agencies, officials say. The suspect's name has not been released, but a Russian state-run news agency has identified him as
This opening hour of vlog. JD, perfect. Good. I don't need that here because it's just distracting.
A world-class hacker was traveling to Thailand that led to his arrest in Phuket. In the raid, police seized laptops,
All right, we're good.
mobile phones, and digital wallets.
We're good.
FBI officials
Okay.
were on hand for the arrest.
Perfect.
I'm Charles Rivera.
News and analysis at
1 minute
townhall.com.
left in the news.
Longtime NFL coach Dave Toub answers President Trump's criticism of the league's new kickoff rule.
Trump attended a
No
game
one
earlier
cares.
this month and criticized
No
the
one
rules
cares
on the
about
Pat McAfee show, calling them demeaning and unsafe. Toub, who has coached special teams for over 2 decades, pointedly dismissed Trump's comments.
Kickoff is like the
Thursday.
most
I have no idea what's going on with the kickoff rule. So, I mean, I think.
least
that's what-
important thing on the
I don't
planet.
use it.
The rules,
to
made
talk
permanent
about
this year,
when it comes to
require the
football.
ball to be kicked from the 35-yard line, with players waiting at the 40 until the ball is touched or lands. I'm Geffen Coolbaugh.
Law enforcement leaders in Charlotte,
So-
North Carolina say a federal immigration crackdown centered around the
They're
city
trying not to
appears
get
be tapering
people
off.
hurt.
However, a Homeland Security official insists the operation will continue, saying that the operation is not over and will not be ending anytime in the near future. More on these
All
stories, townhall.com.
5.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host and do not express the views of WVVF
I don't need to
ownership
play that,
or Hometown Talk Radio. Content
There you
aired
go.
on all programs are those of the host and their guests.
Just gonna play that. Okay. Yep. All right. We're still good there. Perfect. We're good here. Perfect. Okay, good. Yeah. All right. This is good. That's perfect. Good. All right. Okay. Are we live?
The opinions expressed on this program
Yeah, we're still good. Sure. Okay, 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock hour. Final. And we are back here on Hometown Talk. Here for the Friday edition of Hometown Talk. It is the second hour of Hometown Talk. Open phone lines 508-822-1106 is number. Quick little music thing here. If anyone out there listening to the program this morning are 80s metal, hard rock metal fans, tonight is a pretty interesting night in Somerville at the Somerville Theater. Queensryche and Accept will be playing. And I just checked. I believe there are still tickets available, it looks like, for this event. Again, Somerville Theater tonight in Somerville, Massachusetts. So if you want to go down there or are happen to be listening to us and you're in the area of Somerville, again, Queensryche and Accept are playing tonight at the Somerville Theater. And that's going to be a huge one as well. Those two bands are one of the biggest bands of the 80s, for sure. Definitely Queensryche. It was definitely a massive band at their peak, and so was Accept. But those two bands teaming up together, playing tonight in Somerville, that's going to be a really great show. I would assume so. I just wanted to mention that there to begin the hour, because I saw that on Facebook this morning. I was like, oh yes, that show's happening tonight. So wanted to mention that. So there you go. Wanted to mention as well the Sacred Heart Food Pantry, St. Vincent de Paul Food Pantry, and their Giving Tree program. Signups, I believe, are still going on for that, and I'm going to get that up here in a second. Meanwhile, while I get that up, if you want to call in and talk about what is on your mind this morning, 508-822-1106 is number. All right. The 2025 Giving Tree program. The Sacred Heart Food Pantry is now accepting signups for their 2025 Giving Tree program, providing Christmas gifts for children from birth through high school. Each eligible child will receive 4 gifts of clothing or toys. Sign-up dates are going on now. They started back on October the 15th. They are going on through November 26th at the Sacred Heart Food Pantry, 53 Oak Street in Middleborough. Access through the back of the building. The sign-up hours are as follows. Saturdays, 8:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Wednesdays, the first and third Wednesday, is 8:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Wednesdays, the second, fourth Wednesdays, are 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Please bring with you a birth certificate for each child, proof of residency for Carver, Lakeville, Middleborough, or Rochester, dated within the last 60 days, proof of guardianship of the child, suggested gift ideas and sizes. Pantry recipients must have an up-to-date review on file. Families enrolled in another Christmas gift program, they are not eligible. Questions, you can call 508-658-1. Let me start over. 508-658-0114. Sponsored by the Society of St. Vincent de Paul. So there you go. Up until up until next Wednesday, coming up here, the Giving Tree program signups continue to. And I believe the Thanksgiving meals are going to be picked up, or whether they were already picked up. They were picked up back on November the 18th. So they had also Thanksgiving meals as well that they did, and signups for that. And they were doing that this week. Also, as well, coming up on another free clothing distribution that'll take place tomorrow in partnership with Teardra Box Ministry in partnership with St. Vincent de Paul. Again, this is going to be 53 Oak Street, Middleborough. Join us tomorrow at 9 a.m. for a free clothing distribution open to all in our community. Restore, renew, rebuild. We are committed to supporting individuals and families with free clothing, food, and other essential items. Our services help connect community members to resources in career and employment support, educational opportunities, emergency assistance, and mental health support. Our mission focuses on empowering disadvantaged families through our YAFE Youth and Family Empowerment Program. For more information about our programs and services, please contact our YAFE coordinator at 508-441-7957. Again, it's 508-441-7957. Again, there will be a free clothing distribution tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. at the St. Vincent de Paul in Middleborough, 53 Oak Street. There you go. A couple of events going on for St. Vincent de Paul. And I wanted to mention that here. We are going to take our first commercial break. When we come back, we're going to switch gears over to some sports. We'll also be doing some transportation on the program today as well. So stay tuned for that. That'll be probably in the second half of the second hour. But we're going to do some sports here coming up right after this first commercial break. We will be right back. I only did 425, so what I'm going to do is 1-9.
Taunton Federal Credit Union's newest full-service location at 403 Winthrop Street in Taunton is now open. This is TFCU's fourth location, which includes its main office at 14 Church Green in Taunton and branches in Middleborough and New Bedford. Taunton Federal Credit Union's been serving the city of Taunton and surrounding communities since 1947 and is committed to offering an extensive range of products and services designed specifically with you in mind. Membership in the Taunton Federal Credit Union is now available to anyone who lives, works, worships, or attends school in Bristol County, Plymouth County, and Barnstable
And
County,
then I'm going to play
Bristol,
these
Kent,
American
Newport, and Providence counties from Rhode Island, and the Rhode Island communities of Charlestown, Exeter, Hopkins, Narragansett, New Shoreham, North Kingstown, Richmond, and South Kingstown. They want to make your banking experience as easy as possible by giving you convenient access to manage your accounts on the go, all the while providing you with the latest and greatest in banking technology. Stop in today and see what Taunton Federal Credit Union
They already
can
have?
offer you.
Okay. I guess we're not playing that. Okay, that's
You
fine.
wanted to be cool, which led you to smoking, which led to
All right,
a
I guess
pack
we're
a day.
not playing
Then you
that.
met that special someone,
Yeah.
which led to starting a life for them,
All right,
which
never
led
mind.
to wanting to live longer,
Never
which
mind.
led to quitting.
You know what I will
Then you
do?
heard
I'll
you
do a
may be at
success
risk for
drill.
lung cancer, which led you to getting a low-dose CT scan. If you
I'll
smoke,
do a
get scanned. Talk to your
success
doctor and learn
journal
more at
instead.
SaveByTheScan.org. brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Do a Success Journal instead.
Now, the Success Journal. Here's Chris Whitting.
Ed was a guy who really enjoyed lounging around the house.
Good.
On lazy weekends, you'd find
let me
him
check.
taking it easy with his feet up on the furniture. But Ed wasn't a goof-off. He wanted to earn a comfortable living. His quest for comfort led him to search for something better. And that's when he heard of a doctor named Anton Lorenz. Seems the doc had invented what he called the scientifically articulated motion chair. Ed just had to try it.
Yeah.
After trying the new chair, Ed was a believer. He made a deal to sell the product, then tried thinking up a better name than articulated motion chair. Ed Barkalow finally
The
decided
recliner,
to put his own name
right?
on the product. It's one you know. The Barca Lounger. The Barca Lounger is no slouch. Sales are in the millions. With
course
the
they are.
Success Journal, I'm Chris Whitting.
The lounge chair.
I love a day on the water.
Everyone loves a good lounge
Moderate
chair.
to severe plaque psoriasis sometimes holds me back. Now
All
I'm
right.
in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram
That's a
injection for
mouthful.
adults who are
Riza
Kizumab
Riza. Yeah.
Active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times.
That's a
Now I'm
mouthful.
my joint symptoms with Skyrizi.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90%
Good
clearer
morning,
skin
everybody.
in 4 months.
Or if you are an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything.
I wanted to forget about
Ask your
this
doctor
jingle.
about Skyrizi.
But
Visit
whatever.
Skyrizi.com
Okay.
or call 1-866-SKYRIZI
You
to
stuck
learn
in my
more.
head the rest of the day.
You want it to be cool.
No, I'll play that one. All right. This again. All right, time for the sports. Yeah. All right. And we are back. It is 10:19 a.m. We're gonna do a segment here on sports. We got one here that is gonna kind of mix sports and transportation together. Actually, two. I want to mention that the Foxborough accessibility project is going on right now with the Foxborough MBTA station. That is so that the station can be ready and accessible for people who are going to need that. In June, when the World Cup comes to Gillette Stadium, there's going to be a couple of games in June for the World Cup, which isn't that too far off now. So, there you go. There'll be some World Cup things going on. And Foxborough MBTA station is getting some accessibility upgrades in order to accommodate a lot of people that are going to be going to Gillette Stadium throughout the World Cup. Also, the MBTA has announced recently that for the first time it will be offering a second round trip train service between South Station and Foxborough for fans in need of transportation to Patriots games. More than 1,200 riders will be able to catch a ride to 4 New England Patriots home games this season. 3 of them which already passed. 3 of them were in September. The December the 14th game is the one that is coming up. The new Boston train will depart at 10 a.m. from South Station, and trains start leaving Gillette Stadium 30 minutes after the game ends All trade tickets are available for sale on the MBTA ticket app. For more information that can be found on the website as well, on the MBTA website. And speaking of the Patriots, that December the 14th game, by the way, will be against the Bills. That, again, will be a massive matchup. Again, the Bills took a loss last night to the Houston Texans. Now, the Houston Texans aren't a bad team, per se. They're just not an really overly impressive team this year. But when they've gotten wins, and that was a big win for the Houston Texans last night. But over the next couple of weeks, they're going to have some pretty difficult games, the Patriots will have. Coming into this week, there wasn't a lot of talk about Joe Burrow potentially playing against the Patriots because he was on this 21-day time frame. They put him on a 21-day time frame as to when he would be good to come back. Well, he's ahead of schedule on that 21-day time frame. There is a very strong possibility he will play on Sunday. Very strong possibility. Does it happen for sure? I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe it gets announced sometime today, or it gets announced tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. Maybe he's a game time decision. We'll have to see. That's a very, very important decision the Bengals are going to have to make, and Joe Burrow is going to have to make, because the Bengals, they're not fighting for much. They are a team that is pretty much done for the year, barring some sort of miracle. I think they're done. And putting Joe Burrow in these type of situations, because the Patriots defense is a very tough defense. And putting him in these kind of situations, is it worth it for the Bengals? I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens and what the Bengals decide to do with Joe Burrow for this week. I'm sure if he doesn't play this week and continues to be a full participant in practice over the next couple of days after the game on Sunday, that he will play the week after. So either he comes back this week or he comes back the next game. We'll have to see. I think Joe Burrow will have some playing time this year. I just don't know how much. After the Patriots take on the Bengals, then they'll have a Monday night football game against the Giants at home. 8:15 p.m. start for that one. Monday night football against the Giants. The Giants are terrible. This should be a layup of a game. Brian Daboll is no longer their coach. They have a new coach now. The team, again, is just terrible. The Giants, I would expect a pretty easy game, honestly. Then the tough games start. You got the bye week after the Giants game. Then you have the Bills, and then you have to travel to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. And Lamar Jackson is back. So that is going to be a very difficult game as well, if Lamar Jackson plays in that game, of course. The Bills, I still think it's going to be a tough game. Regardless of what the Bills have done over the past couple of weeks, they almost lost to Tampa Bay. They lost to Houston. It's going to be a tough game still, I think. But the Bills are kind of on shaky ground right now at this point. Again, not declaring victory when it comes to the AFC East. Not declaring victory. The Patriots could have a historic collapse and lose a ton of games down the stretch. I'm not expecting that, but it could happen. So I'm not declaring victory when it comes to the AFC East just yet. We'll see how these next couple of games go. Because after the Ravens, you got two pretty easy AFC East games. You got the Jets and you got the Dolphins. So you got to get through these last two games here, following the bye week. Bills and the Ravens. Those are going to be the tough games out of the last 4 games out of the bye week. That'll be those 2 games will be the tough games. We'll have to see what happens there. But again, the Jets and the Dolphins to end the year is a pretty easy kind of schedule to end the year, honestly, if you ask me. But there's your Patriots schedule. The Patriots are pretty good. They're pretty primed to make a run in the playoffs. Again, they're closer to the AFC East title. Yes, I am not declaring victory in the AFC East yet. I'm not doing it. It's still too early for me to say that we're going to win the AFC East. Got to see how the next couple of weeks goes, for sure. All right, 10:28 a.m. That's your Patriots update. Quick update on the Providence Bruins. Providence has done pretty good. When I say pretty good, I mean very good. The Providence Bruins have been one of the best teams in the AHL. Oh, we have a phone call. Let's take that phone call and say good morning, caller.
Hello there. How are you, Bob? Joey?
Democratic Cowboy, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm telling you that Darren Court, he wants a recount in the election.
Oh, yeah. I heard about how close that race was. That would be a possibility. So
that's going to cost a lot of Democratic money.
Is that when is that going to happen? Do you know?
I have no idea. The parade's next week. I'll be up in the garage filming the things entirely. It's all balance to say. I'm telling you. And Linda McMahon's going to take the money from the education fund and transfer it to the Health and Human Services. That's going to help me out.
Okay.
So that's not right, though. I worry about Whitman Hanson. They're a mess. Joey, I'll never forget the night we had Pedro Morales against Stasiak in that high school gymnasium. I'll never forget that night.
The old days of WWE.
It goes back to Brian Walsh, Jellicoe Kowalski School, and oh my God, it goes further back than Hong Kong, Road to the Ballroom, you know what I mean, and Road to the Protectors. But coming up this area here, I'm hurt now, and I got to go in the hospital to get my operation, Joey.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta have a rod put in my back and screws. Oh, it's like the Bionic Man when they get done with me.
Yeah, we wish you all the luck in the world when it comes to that.
I know. I'll come back. I'm 76. I'll come back.
All right, Democratic Cowboy, we are up against it when it comes to the news. I want to thank you for calling in today, though. Call back anytime.
You're welcome.
Call back anytime.
You're welcome. I'm telling you, I listen to that Russo and the coach on the show here, and I'm looking forward to December 5th and the wrestling show here in Brockton when the Santa Claus body slams the Grinch.
Thank you, Democratic Cowboy.
Okay.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Democratic Cowboy, give us a call. We got some pretty big wrestling shows coming up over the next couple of weeks. We'll finish up the sports. We'll talk a little bit about that in the sports coming up after this quick news break. We will be right back.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason.
President Trump is willing to meet with anyone and talk to anyone
That's White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt asked about today's White House meeting between President Trump and New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani.
The president agreed to meet with Mamdani after the 34-year-old political newcomer won a stunning victory in New York City. His campaign heavily focused on affordability, and Mamdani plans to talk about that with the president. Both Donald Trump and his press secretary have described Mamdani as a communist, even though he is a democratic socialist.
White House correspondent Craig Clugston. The Trump administration has announced new oil drilling off the California and Florida coasts for the first time in decades. Federal waters in the eastern Gulf of America have been off limits to energy exploration since 1995. Federal Judge Gia Cobb ordering an end to the president's war on crime in Washington, D.C., ordering a withdrawal of National Guard troops from the capital city's streets.
Judge Cobb concluded that while the president does have the authority to protect federal functions and property, he can't unilaterally deploy the Guard to help with crime control or call in troops from other states. The district's attorney general is calling for the troops to be sent home, saying that normalizing their use for domestic law enforcement sets a dangerous precedent. The White House stands by the deployment. Spokeswoman Abigail Jackson says the lawsuit's an attempt to undermine the president's efforts to stop violent crime in D.C. Deployments in other cities have led to similar court challenges with mixed results. Jennifer King, Washington.
Federal investigators say there's evidence of cracks in the left wing engine mount of the UPS cargo plane. It crashed and burned in Louisville earlier this month. 14 people were killed. Watching Wall Street, stocks in positive territory. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is up about 178 points. The Nasdaq ahead 32 and the S&P 19 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-583-0141. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,005 reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-583-0141. That's 800-583-0141. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
Authorities in Colombia are showing off the first objects recovered from a Spanish galleon that sank off Colombia's Caribbean coast more than 300 years ago. Discovered 10 years ago, it is considered the world's most valuable shipwreck.
3 coins made of gold and bronze, a candle, and a porcelain cup were the first items to be brought to the surface from the San Jose, dubbed the Holy Grail of shipwrecks. The galleon had been sailing back from Panama to Spain, laden with chests of emeralds, silver, and tons of gold when it was sunk by the British. Its treasures could be worth up to $20 billion, but the Colombian authorities have resisted the temptation to simply haul them up, conducting careful archaeological studies of the wreck. Who owns the San Jose is the subject of fierce legal disputes,
which are expected to continue for quite a while. That's the BBC's Anbarasan Ethirajan. Townhall.com. Controversy in Texas schools.
A new law in the Lone Star State says every public classroom must display a poster listing the 10 Commandments. Some teachers and parents worry the law forces Christianity on students and believe it breaches the U.S. Constitution. But all across the state, supporters are donating posters to schools and applauding the conservative push. So far this school year, posters have gone up in most classrooms, but not all. The mandate faces legal challenges likely to reach the Supreme Court. Jason Walker reporting.
The federal government has released a new crash test dummy design. Advocates believe it will help make cars and trucks safer for women. The Department of Transportation says it's going to consider using the dummy in the government's 5-star safety ratings once a final rule is adopted.
Okay.
More on these stories, townhall.com.
All right. we're back. So I turned down the bumper music. There we go. 10:37 a.m. We got about 23 minutes left in the program today. 508-822-1106 is number. We're going to push back my little update on the deer strikes. We'll probably do that on either Sunday or Monday program as well. We're going to still do transportation today, of course. I'm going to finish up on the sports, and then I want to do a scam awareness. I apologize. Scam awareness segment. There we go. That's what I want to say. Scam awareness segment. Talk about that. Get some talk about some scams that are going around and how to avoid those. As well. Also talking about transportation at the end of the show today. And your phone calls, 508-822-1106 is the number to call. And we'll have a lot more transportation on Sunday's program and on Monday's program, because there's a ton of transportation topics that I want to talk about. And I don't think I'm going to get to all of them on today's show. All right, anyway, moving on. Moving on before I mess up anything else when it comes to talking here. Back to our sports real quick. There's a couple other things I want to talk about. Providence Bruins. Now, I mentioned Providence last week. I've been mentioning them a lot recently. And the reason why I've mentioned the Providence Bruins quite a lot, well, they've been good. They've been very, very good. They're 12-2 right now. They're a point behind the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, who play tonight. They'll take on Hartford. Hartford is not a great team. So Wilkes-Barre will probably beat them. And Providence takes on Lehigh Valley tonight at 7:05 p.m. Eastern. And I believe they're at home as well. So that should be an interesting game. Lehigh Valley is pretty good, I believe. I can find them. Yes, they are 2 points behind us. So that's going to be a pretty big game tonight, for sure. So there you go. There's a little bit of an update on the Providence Bruins. The Boston Bruins, they'll continue their West Coast swing of games, and they'll take on the LA Kings. There we go. The LA Kings, 10:30 tonight, 7:30 Pacific. That'll be a big game for the Bruins as they look to try to get some wins strung together here. They lost to the Ducks and lost to the Hurricanes in the last two games. So these next couple of games will be very, very important. They'll have a game in New York as well on Wednesday against the Islanders. And then they'll be back home next Friday. They'll take on the Rangers, the New York Rangers. So next couple of games will be very, very important for the Boston Bruins. The Celtics, they'll take on the Nets tonight. The Nets are one of the worst teams in the league. So this could be a good game for the Celtics to kind of get up a little bit in standings, not go to 9-7 on the year. They've kind of struggled so far, but they've gotten some wins over the past couple of games. So momentum is starting to build for the Celtics. They'll take on the Nets, and that is NBA Cup action in the group stage. So we'll see what happens in that game. Survivor Series War Games, going on to WWE here. A little bit of talk on that. San Diego will be the place for that next Saturday night. Petco Park. So that's going to be a big venue for it. Of course, a baseball venue for this event. It's going to be a big event. It's one of their big four. It's one of their big four for WWE. Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, Money in the Bank is another one. And then, of course, you got WrestleMania. WrestleMania is coming up pretty quick as well, April. Royal Rumble will be out of the country this year. It will not be in country. It will be in Saudi Arabia this year. So that, I believe, is taking place on February the 1st, I believe. Me and Eric will talk more about that, I think, on December the 5th, along with Survivor Series as well. Looking at the card, very good card, by the way. You got John Cena versus Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship. You got the Women's World Championship as well, Stephanie Vaquer and Nikki Bella. And, of course, you got the men's and women's War Game matches. You'll probably have one more match that gets added onto that card before the event takes place next Saturday. So there is your sports. Take our commercial break. When we come back, we're going to do a scam awareness segment. There you go. Scam awareness segment. We're going to do coming up here in a few minutes. And then we'll finish the program talking about a couple of things with transportation as well. And your phone calls, 508-822-1106 is the number to call. We'll be right back. Okay, what are we doing here? We are doing ads. 089. I don't think I did this.
Systems. Cancer care can make you feel like a number.
Yeah.
At South Coast Health
I don't think I did
Care,
this.
you're more than a diagnosis.
Yeah.
We offer the most advanced treatments and the latest surgical advancements.
I don't want to do that one. I'll do 110.
Because healing isn't just medicine.
I need as much time to talk about this next thing here as possible.
We are South Coast Health Cancer Care. Visit
10:45.
Cancer Care.
Hey, restaurant. When it comes to great food and in-house operations, you got
Okay.
it down to a science.
What are we doing here?
When it comes to online marketing, ordering, and delivery, Devour
Steve.
Now has got you covered. Devour Now has 0% commission, no setup costs, and the delivery solution you've been hoping for. Go to getdevournow.com to request a demo and to get started today. That's getdevournow.com. Commission-free online marketing, ordering, and delivery.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, and 0. And we're back here on Hometown Talk, the Friday edition of Hometown Talk. I am Joey Driscoll, 10:45 a.m. It's time for something I want to do here, a scam awareness segment. Talk about some scams that are going around and how to avoid them here. And we're going to start off with holiday shopping. Holiday shopping scams have been around since online shopping began, since, the dawn of the internet. But advances in artificial intelligence are making these scams much more personalized and much more difficult to spot. Raul Pawar, who is co-founder and CEO of cybersecurity company Redshift, said you can get an email that looks like it's coming from your favorite website, but clicking on the link will take you to something much more sinister. Obviously, banks, shopping portals, etc., use emails and SMS as ways of keeping you informed. Hold on. Lost the page there for a second. All right, there we go. But if you're getting unusual looking messages from these types of organizations, then most likely it's worth another check just to make sure you're not being scammed into a lookalike site. Pawar said some websites like Google are now adding blue check marks to emails coming from verified businesses, essentially showing Gmail users while the company emailing you is legitimate. Yes, so I've seen that as well. Definitely something to kind of keep an eye on if you have Google, if you have Gmail, and get emails as well. Look for that blue check mark from any business you get an email from. Check that blue check mark. If they don't have that, then proceed with have a lot of caution with that, or don't even look at it. Don't click it, and things like that. They also have green check marks as well for security. There's a lot of checks now that Gmail does when it comes to emails, and you'll know when it comes to emails whether they're legit or not if you use Gmail. They do a very, very good job at the security aspect. Some emails, get past it, and that's the same for everything. But they do a pretty good job. Gmail does. When you're browsing domains and you're clicking on links, you can sometimes end up at these lookalike sites, which are not your bank, not your healthcare provider, not your retailer, but they look a lot like that. Some of them, they take you to a password page. What that is, if you type in anything, it logs everything and then takes your passwords as well. So a good rule of thumb for consumers this holiday shopping season: always have some level of paranoia. Be skeptical of emails and text messages. Always look at the website URL closely. Yeah, so there you go. Another thing going around as well is a missed jury duty scam involving Bitcoin, ATMs, targets Massachusetts residents. Sheriff warns 2 Massachusetts women recently lost a combined $6,700 to a missed jury duty phone scam that utilized Bitcoin ATMs, Norfolk County Sheriff Patrick McDermott said. According to the sheriff, there has been an increase in calls from scammers who claim to work for local law enforcement and demand money from residents who have supposedly missed jury duty. They threaten to arrest those who don't agree to pay. The Norfolk County Sheriff's Office never makes calls like this, and neither do local police departments, McDermott said in a statement. Just hang up on anyone who demands money and acting like they're from our office or another law enforcement agency, threatening you with arrest or detainment for things like missed jury duty or an outstanding warrant. A lot of those a lot of the scammers also pretend to be FBI and the DEA as well. I've seen that as well. Both of the victims come from the sheriff's office came to the sheriff's office after sending money to the scammers. One was a woman from Sharon who paid $5,250 via a bank, via a Bitcoin kiosk. There we go. The woman said she saw a sign on the Bitcoin machine warning about scams, but the person on the phone told her she would be detained for 10 to 12 days if she did not pay. Just 90 minutes later, the sheriff said a woman from Dedham came to the office to report that she paid a $1,450 bond through a Rosendale Bitcoin kiosk. The scammer reportedly sent her a fraudulent court document to back up his claims, the sheriff said, and threatened that she'd be arrested and detained within 72 hours unless paid immediately. Some of the things also I want to mention here. The city of Gloucester recently banned Bitcoin ATMs, saying they're concerned the machines could be used by scammers to prey on elderly victims. I think you're going to see a little bit more of that going forward. Bitcoin just seems to be a big way for scammers to steal money. I think you're going to see a change with the Bitcoin machines. Some cities will ban it. Some cities will put more security into it as well. But you're gonna see a lot more of that. I think what the city of Gloucester did. In Waltham this summer, a police officer stopped an elderly man from sending $12,000 to scammers via a Bitcoin machine. Yeah, so these are very serious scams, especially the ones that pretend to be police officers or federal agents even. I mentioned the FBI and the DEA; those are going around as well. So those are very dangerous ones, and to keep an eye on as well. Very dangerous ones to keep an eye on. If you get any phone call from anyone saying that they're from the FBI or DEA or your local police station and demanding money, just hang up on them. All right, 10:54 a.m. There you go. There's your scam awareness segment. A couple of pretty scary scams there to talk about. But we're going to move on to our transportation segment. A couple of minutes for that. I want to mention here that the MBTA is preparing to open commuter rail fare gates at South Station. This was an article that came out last week. The MBTA commuter rail riders passing through South Station will soon be introduced to a new fare collection system. In August, the T announced it would install fare gates at its busiest transit hub outside the commuter rail and Amtrak platforms. The gates are expected to begin collecting fares in December, so not too far from now, a couple weeks. A spokesperson confirmed, familiar to MBTA subway lines, riders will need to scan a ticket to access the platforms. However, unlike on the subway, they will also need to scan their ticket to exit. Okay. Commuter rail fare gates will also not accept tap to pay from a credit card or debit card. Wow. Okay. Phone or watch as subway and buses do. Still, the MBTA has said the new fare collection system will have minimal impact on riders. Doesn't sound like a minimal impact. That does not sound like a minimal impact to me, in my opinion. That sounds like a pain, if I'm being quite honest. But that's just me. Fare gates have already been used at the commuter rail's North Station platforms for about 3 years. The MBTA also says it plans to install them at Ruggles and Back Bay next year. At South Station, the agency held off installing the gates during the construction of the skyscraper above the station, which is now complete and open. By the way, I've talked about that before. It's a huge skyscraper, huge building. I've talked about it. The MBTA General Manager Philip Eng told the agency's board last year. The building project was completed in September. At the same board meeting, transit officials said they estimated about 25% of fares are not collected on commuter rail trains operating out of South Station. Yeah, yes, that's something that is definitely a huge problem, for sure. The T estimated in 2019 that it is losing $10 million to $20 million in revenue from uncollected commuter rail fares, or between 4 and 8% of potential revenue. The industry standard is 3%. So they are higher than the industry standard, which is not good. And even the most airtight gated systems. The public has a right to expect us to do our part and ensure revenue is collected, Ang said in August when the T announced the South Station fare gates. After the T launched the North Station fare gates in October 2022, riders described them as inconvenient, aggravating, and a little frustrating. Yes, that is exactly what you're going to hear from the South Station commuters as well. And that's what you're going to hear from the Back Bay commuters as well, and the Ruggles commuters as well. They are definitely all those things. Absolutely, all those things. Some people said the scanners struggled to read barcodes on smartphones, causing riders to miss their trains, which is not a good thing at all. An MBTA webpage posted last weekend, but evidently got taken down, said the South Station fare gates would open during a testing phase on the 15th of December. The MBTA did not provide additional details on the timeline for the fare gate rollout or confirm whether riders would first use the gates during a testing period. Again, December, they reiterated, is the month that they plan to open the gates to be operational. So there you go. What are your thoughts on that? We have 1 minute. Anyone wants to call in real quick and give your thoughts on that? 508-822-1106 is number. That's going to be definitely a difficult thing for a lot of people to deal with. I will be getting Don's thoughts on this. 100% be getting Don's thoughts on this on Sunday. We'll talk about this again on Sunday. I'll get Don's thoughts, and we will go from there. I think this is going to be a very tough thing, I think, for commuters for South Station, as had been for North Station commuters when that all was introduced and installed. And it's going to be the same thing for Back Bay. It's going to be the same thing for Ruggles, as I mentioned as well, which apparently they are going to be looking at putting fare gates there as well. But I also see, it will be a pain. But I also see the positive in it, which is collecting that missed fare revenue. Again, the fare revenue, a lot of that missed fare revenue, the percentage, it's very high. It's very high. So there's positives and there's negatives. The inconvenience is the negative. The positive is more money for the MBTA and potentially more money to put into projects that they need to get done. Desperately, for sure. So again, there's positives and negatives in this. Anyway, that will do it for today's program. I hope everyone enjoyed today's program. I'll be back once again on the air on Sunday morning with another edition of Middleborough Run Review. Until then, I hope everyone has a great rest of your Friday and a great weekend. Bye-bye. Revenue, the percentage, it's very high. It's very high. So there's positives and there's negatives. The inconvenience is the negative. The
positive is more money for the MBTA and potentially more money to put into projects that need to get done desperately, for sure. So yeah, there's positives and negatives. Anyway, that will do it for today's program. Hope everyone enjoyed today's program. I'll be back once again on the air on Sunday morning with another edition of Middle Marlin Review. Until then, I hope everyone has a great rest of your Friday and a great weekend.
We are AM 1530, WVBF, Middleborough, Taunton, and W259DD, Middleborough Center, 99.7 FM, your hometown radio station.
You must refuse illegal orders, adds Representative Chris Deluzio of Pennsylvania, who also served in the Navy. Trump's response elicited a swift rebuke from Democrats.
All right.
along with tensions with
That's it.
Democrats seen as encouraging.
Okay. I fill out the log. Ugh, my hair is all messed up. Hope everyone enjoyed today's program. Got a lot done when it comes to topics being talked about on the show today. I'll be back here on this page next Friday with another edition of Hometown Talk. It's the Black Friday edition, the November 28th edition of Hometown Talk. And until then, I hope everyone enjoys your weekend. Go Patriots. And I will be back again next Friday for another edition of Hometown Talk. Bye-bye.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said Thursday that